morning, happy Monday. So we're just going to do a nice little flow this morning, starting in mountain pose. So in mountain pose, you'll want to begin to feel your feet. You might spread your toes out, rock forward and back just a little bit. And try to feel the tripod of your foot. So the center of your heel, the big toe mound, and the pinky toe mound. And then find a place in neutral. Give your shoulders a couple of rolls here. Begin to connect your breath with your movement. Slow and easy, take it easy. And then the next time you're rolling the shoulders down, let your fingers be heavy towards the floor. Reach up through the crown of your head and feel free to soften or close your eyes here. We're just going to take a few breaths in and out through the nose. Reminding yourself what brought you onto your mat this morning, whatever that answer might be. And breathing it in. And breathing it out a few times. Come back and notice your feet again. Think about building from your feet to your ankles, to your knees, your hips, shoulders. Ears over shoulders, crown of the head reaching high. Shoulder blades together just a little bit here, fingertips heavy. And if you haven't already, let your eyes open completely. And from here, we're going to step the feet just a little wider and get a little movement through the joints even more by just doing a little gentle swing from left to right. You might pick up the opposing heel here. Keep your breath soft, thoughts soft. All right, one more time right here, just letting it naturally come into neutral. From here, come back in to mountain pose. Build your foundation. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up. And then just take opposite hand to opposite elbow and leaning to one side and then coming up. And we'll go the other side. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, other side. Slow and easy does it here. Just getting some lateral movement through the body. One more time, each side. Last one, breathing light. All right, let's stop in the center here, give it a good shake out. Bring your feet just a little bit wider, about shoulders width apart. Bring your hands onto your low back. Draw your elbows together, squeeze your glutes a little bit as you lift your ribcage up away from your hip bones. So again, easy does it, not too much, no sketchiness in the low back. If it's okay to take the chin up, take the chin up. If it's not, keep it neutral. Come on back through neutral here. Bend your knees. Take your hip creases back. Hinge forward here. Option to take opposite elbows if you like. Maybe a little swing. And we'll stop in the center here. Let your fingertips come down. Heel toe your feet a little wider. Come up, bring your hands onto your knees. We'll do a little bit of cat and cow movement. So rounding the spine up towards the ceiling and rounding the spine down towards the floor. Just waking up the spine here. Connecting breath. And one more round here. Stop in the center, heel toe your feet together. Big toes touch, knees come together. We'll make some circles here. Make some circles in the other direction. You're just noticing how you're feeling this morning. How are you feeling physically, mentally, emotionally? Stopping in neutral, press your feet down. Sweep your feet a little wider, step your feet a little wider here. Bring the hands around onto the low back. Lift your heart space here. Then we're going to come over halfway. And when you do this, extend the crown of your head forward. Reach your elbows up. Engage your belly. Feel your feet here. So there's some work going on. Work your legs. Let your hands come on down to the floor. If they don't come to the floor, then maybe you bring blocks. And we're just going to begin to sway here from left to right. Slow and easy does it. And then the next time that you're going to the right, we're going to set the hip back, walking that left foot out a little more and turning the toes up. And your rear end may not come to the floor, it's all good. Hands might come to the heart here, sit nice and tall. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. You might hear my lawn people outside. Let your hands come back out in front. So maybe you use the floor, maybe you do a little rock. And we'll come to the other side now. The hip goes back, the other heel goes up. Now for me, my heel doesn't come down on this side with ease. So I'm just gonna set myself down, pressing my arm into my leg, hands to heart. And breathing that long, slow, smooth breath in and out through your nose. Good, let's take one more breath here. Hands can come to the floor and maybe give yourself a little rock. I'm gonna use my hands. Come on back through center. Come into a flat back. You could be on your fingertips. You could have your hands on blocks or books here. Walk your hands forward into a wide leg dog. So while you're here, imagine your hands are pressing your mat down and forward. Walk your hands under your face. We're going to take our left hand down to the mat, directly under our face. Again, it could be on a block or a book. Right palm comes onto the low back. Dial the heart space open here. Stacking shoulders. Deep breaths. Unwind yourself. Let your right hand come forward. Left hand takes the right outer leg somewhere. Give yourself a little nudge here. Unwind the hand. Bring them right under your shoulders. Begin to walk your right foot to face the front of your mat. Back heel lifts. Engage your abdominals, extend out through the crown of your head here. Keep breathing in and out through your nose. And if it feels good to do a little pulsing, I'm just doing a little pulsing with my front knee. Good, from here we're gonna drop the back knee down. Sink the hips forward just a bit. And again, if it feels good to pulse a little bit, by all means do. All right, so from here, you might slide that back knee back a little bit. Option here to bend the knee. Bring your right hand to your left foot if it's available, only if it's available. Unwind the foot. Let your hands come inside of your right foot. We'll straighten the leg. Dial ourselves back around to face the front of the mat. Walk your hands forward into a downward dog, wide legged. From here, we're going to keep our left hand, we're going to walk our hands in. Keep your right hand right under your face. Left palm comes onto the low back, and we're going to stack the shoulders here. If it feels good to bend one knee and then the other, by all means do. Unwinding from here. Let that left hand come forward. Walk your right hand to the outside of your left leg. Let your head Pause your breathing here. And begin to unwind the hands, walk yourself back into a flat back here. Engage your belly, crown of the head reaching. Begin to dial your left toes towards the left end of your mat. Pick up your back heel here. So we're in this runner's lunge. And again, if it feels good to pulse, just tiny micro movements. All right, the next time your knee's right over your ankle, let that back knee come down. You might slide your knee back a little bit, the back knee. And we'll pause here in the center. Option to bend the back knee. You can stay right here and get a beautiful stretch for the quad. Maybe your hand comes to your foot. Slowly release your foot down. Let both hands come inside the left foot. Lift your back knee. Walk back around to neutral here. We're going to come back into our wide-legged dog. An option here is to come into a wide-legged plank by lifting your heels and letting your torso come forward here. Extend out through your heels, through the crown of your head. Draw your shoulder blades together. Keep breathing. Walk your hands back nice and slow. From here, we're going to dial our right foot to the right. Walk your hands around. Lift your back heel, drop the knee. Inhale, rise up. Sweep your arms up. And let your hands come to your heart center. Bring your left elbow to your right knee. Bring the palms together. Draw your thumbs towards your heart. Stack your shoulders. Unwind from here. Roll those back toes under. Lift the knee, straightening through the front leg. Let your head go. Begin to bring both hands inside of your right foot. Begin to walk your toes around towards the front of your mat. Come into your wide-legged dog here. Option to come forward into a wide-legged plank, and I'm needing to bring my hands a little more forward as I do this. Squeeze your back body muscles. Take your hips back. Hands right under the shoulders. Begin to dial your left toes towards the left end of your mat. Walk your hands around back, heel lift, drop the knee. Pressing down here to come up, sweep your arms up. Let your hands come to your heart center, right elbow, left knee. Notice the rhythm of your breathing here. Let your hands come down, frame your foot. Roll your back toes under, lift your knees, straighten your front leg. Straighten doesn't mean that it's going to be all the way straight. Coming back through neutral, bring both hands inside of your left foot. Walk yourself forward. We're going to come into wide-legged dog here. Spread your fingertips out wide, like you're trying to stretch your mat forward. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Heel, toe the feet to touch here. So I'm just going to walk my feet together. Big toes touch, lifting the heels, letting the hips come down. You can keep your fingertips out in front or work on bringing your shoulders over your hips. If you're here, option to interlace the hands, reach the palms. Keep breathing mindfully in and out through your nose. Steeple the hands. Either let your hands come down to the floor or come right on up into standing here. Lift your heart space. Let your hands come down through the center line. Let your feet come back into mountain pose. Fingertips reaching down here. Reconnect with your breath here. Let your feet come wide. So a little wider than shoulders width apart. You might even extend your arms and think about maybe your ankle bones and your wrist bones lining up here. We're going to dial our right toes towards the end of the mat, and the back toes or back heel will go back. Open your arms here. We're coming into triangle pose, so we're reaching that right arm forward, letting it come down to where it comes down. Reach your left arm up. Now you can stay right here, or maybe you take your left bicep by your left ear. And if you'd like a little more challenge, sweep the right arm up. If the right arm is up, let it come down, sweep your left arm up. We're going to let our hands frame the foot, pick up the back heel. If you need to widen your stance for more stability and support, please do. Sweep your arms up. Let your hands come to your heart space here. Left elbow, right knee. Let your hands come down, frame your foot, and straightening through the front leg. Again, for volcano pose, our second time here. Bring both hands inside of your foot. Walk yourself so that all 10 toes are pointing towards the front. Long spine here. Bring your hands onto your waist. Reach your elbows up. Come to stand here. Left toes turn towards the left end of the mat. Back heel goes back. Sweep your arms up and open. So we're coming into triangle pose here, reaching and reaching and reaching. Let your hand come down to where it comes down. We want to stack the torso right over the leg here. Maybe you bring your right bicep by your ear. So this is extended triangle. Maybe you lift the left arm to work the core a little bit more here. If you have the left arm lifting, let it come down. Right arm reaches right up high to the sky. Look down towards your left foot. Let your hands frame your foot as you pick up your back heel. If you need to widen your stance here for stability, by all means do. Sweep your arms up into crescent lunge. Let your hands come to your heart center, right elbow, left knee. Let your hands come down, framing your front foot, straighten through the front leg. From here, begin to look forward. Bring both hands inside of your left foot. Begin to walk yourself around nice and slow. Bring your feet together. Lift your heels. Let your hips come down, shoulders over hips. Hands can be out in front, out to the side, up overhead. Release your hands. We're going to come down into a kneeling position. So I'm going to turn sideways here. Letting your hips come to your heels if this is comfortable. So if it's not comfortable, just come into maybe seated crossed legs. Bring your hands around behind. I'm letting my fingertips point back. Draw your shoulder blades together here. Lift up through your heart space, and this very well could be enough. Or maybe you lift your hips, let your head go back. Deep breathing in and out through the nose. Come down nice and slow. Stack your ears over your shoulders. Last, bring your knees wide. If you're in this shape, walk yourself forward. So if you're in seated forward fold, by all means, just come forward. Coming up, nice and slow, we're going to make our way into the table pose. So bring your knees under your hips here. Fingertips are spread out wide, shoulder blades coming together, belly engaged. Inhale, take your right arm up. And as we exhale, right arm's going to sweep under and through. We'll rest on the right side of our face here. Now begin to press down through your left hand so that you can come up. Sweep your right arm up. I'm walking my left knee in a little bit. Come onto the toes of the right foot. Dial the sole of the back foot down. You can stay here or take the arm by the ear. Back leg strong, squeezing the muscles. Look down, let your hand come down, let your knee come down. Set your hips to your heels. Coming back up into all fours, setting your foundation. Sweep your left arm up. And then we're going to sweep the right arm under and through. Resting on the left side of the face here. You might press down through your right hand. Maybe you extend it out. Any variations you know, then please use them. Let your breath be soft and smooth. And beginning to press it down in the right hand so that we can sweep our left arm up. Again, I'm bringing my right knee in just a little bit and swiveling the shin. Come onto the toes of your left leg. Dial the sole of the foot down. Squeeze those leg muscles, and then from here you might bring your left bicep by your left ear. Looking down, let your hand come down, let your knee come down. Come up into kneeling here. So come up into kneeling, bring your hands around to the low back or the high glutes. Draw your elbows together, squeeze your back body slightly, lift up through your heart. One more breath here, come back and through. Let your hips come down to your heels. You might stay seated like this, or if child's pose seems more appealing, come forward. Walking yourself back up into all four. From here, we're going to come into a seated position. So come into seated, let your legs come a little wide. They don't need to come as wide as they can, not to the max. Try to get even on your sitting bones here. And I'm going to bring my right foot into my left thigh. And then from here, bring your left hand onto your left shin. It could be on the floor, the palm could be up. I'll be demonstrating with my fingertips on my shin. Sweep your right arm up. Get long through the right side and then begin to slide the fingertips towards the ankle here. And if your shoulder is collapsing in, keep dialing it up. Reach out through your fingertips. And pressing down to come up. Come up. Let your right hand come around behind you. Let your left hand take your right knee. And come into a gentle seated twist here. Coming back through neutral, we're going to extend that right leg out. And if you need to make a little movement, take the time to do that. Walk your fingertips out in front. Sit really tall. Draw your shoulder blades together. Lift up through the crown of your head. Begin to come forward. Slow and easy does it. Pressing down through your hands to walk yourself up here. Let's let the left foot come into the right thigh. Sit nice and tall. Right fingertips are coming onto the shin. We'll inhale and take the left arm up. Get nice and long here. And then let your right hand move in the direction of your right foot. Keep reaching out through your fingertips, stacking your shoulders. And breathing deeply in and out through the nose here. And taking one more breath, press down to come up. Now the left hand's going to come around behind right hand onto the knee. Give yourself a little twist here. And we'll begin to undo from here. Extend the left leg again if you need to make a little bit of movement. Making a little movement. And then from here, bring your hands around behind your knees. Lift your knees. So we're coming up into a seated position here. Feel your feet on the mat. You can make this as much or little work as you'd like. We're coming down for Shavasana. So come on down to lying down on your back. And take the time here to make any additional movements you might need. If it feels good to hug in, hugging in. Maybe a little swing, maybe an additional twist. And then when you feel ready to come into final relaxation, make your way into it. And just know that you can have your knees bent, you can lie on your belly, on your side. You can have the legs extended. Do what feels most comfortable for you. You might tuck your chin a little bit to make your neck feel nice and long. When you do feel physically relaxed here, just begin to let your attention move towards your breath. And here the breath is completely natural. We're not doing anything special with it. Just noticing the natural ebb and flow of your breathing here. And as thoughts come about, rather than creating a big story about them, you might just begin to label it as a thought and imagine that it's floating by. thoughts arise again, coming back to labeling and letting them float past. And keep taking your attention to your breath and giving yourself permission to relax physically. Allowing every exhale to be a surrender and letting go and undoing. And staying here for as long as you like. When you feel your relaxation is complete, then you can just begin to invite back some movement. Let the breath become bigger and deeper. And taking your time, being gentle with yourself again, stay here as long as you like. And you might roll over onto one side or the other and stay there for a moment as we make this transition. Again, feeling free to stay on your side as long as you like. Eventually, we'll meet up and just seated, and try to keep your eyes heavy or closed here. Sit tall, notice your posture. Come back and notice your breath. Take a few more mindful breaths before you enter back into your day, and try to ease some of this peace, calmness, and clarity that we cultivate on our mat out into your day. I hope you have a lovely Monday. My light sees your light.